Hello lovely people, and welcome back to this week's new video. This week I thought I would do a weekly sort of challenge video to see how many books I can read in a week. I would like to read over 1,000 pages. I'm not sure how many books that will be, hopefully like 3.5. First book that I've got is Dark Corners by Goldin. This is from July 2023, my book of the month pick. It's about time I read it as 2025 is coming to an end. I'm hoping that with this video I can also pick off some books and complete books off of my physical TBR. The great thing about this one is that I also have an audiobook out from the library. There was no wait for it. It doesn't look too long. I do have short form content planned for tomorrow since I will have a lot of time to listen to an audiobook. This one is a mystery, a little bit of true crime following one of the characters that was in Megan Goldin's Night Swim, which I enjoyed and chose from book of the month as well. Terrence Bailey is currently in jail for breaking and entering, though he has long been suspected of murdering 6 women. His release date is approaching. In comes this young influencer named Madison Logan with a huge social media following, and she plans to visit Terrence Bailey in prison. Later that day she disappears and it looks suspicious. Police are looking into it, thinking that it's an abduction and trying to connect the dots between this influencer Madison and Terrence, try to figure out why she was trying to visit him in the first place. The FBI hits a wall and they decided to bring in true crime podcaster Rachel Kroll from the previous book, and she is going undercover using a fake Instagram account to BuzzCon, which is a popular influencer conference. I'm going to leave the synopsis at that so I don't give away too much, even though the blurb is kind of long. That always seems to be the problem with mysteries. I'm excited because this does have some parts of the podcast as well, so I'm hoping that the audiobook does something with that and makes it a little bit more interesting. I'm still about 10 books behind on my Goodreads goal, which is why I decided to do something like this in the first place. Last week I found myself to be reading a lot more and I was able to complete 3 books, which I don't remember the last time that I did, and I watched really minimal shows and decided to focus on audiobooks and less podcasts. I do also have some books on hold at the library. I tried to find ones that are on my shelf for audiobooks and ones that didn't have too long of a wait. So that would also include 3 books that I have. One is a really long wait though. The first is for a new release. It's about a 6-week hold. Fun at Parties by Jamie Harrow. Thank you to Dutton for sending this to me. Edgar Cantero's Meddling Kids. And I also have a historical fiction, Whispers of War by Julia Kelly, which I won in a Goodreads giveaway in 2020.
A Rachel Kroll special report.
It's a good thing that I read so much yesterday because today is a bit of a slower reading day for me. Yesterday I did end up getting my nails done and walking up to the Upper East Side. If you follow me on Instagram, maybe I made a short form video about it. I need to edit that. But I walked almost 7 miles and then I ran today. So my knees are very tired. My body is tired. So I think I'm going to take a break from the gym and the usual things that I'm doing and probably just focus on doing a lot of yoga and stretching because my legs especially feel tight, and so does my back. But because I read so much, I was able to finish Dark Corners by Megan Goldin. This I think was about 213 pages of it left. On my commute home, I did start an ebook that I had of Hunting Wives by Mary Cobb. Now I'm not very far into that, but because of how much I had read of this, my total page count for yesterday is already 271. It's a good thing because I've only read about 3 pages of the ebook and right now it's 10:15. Okay, I need to lock in and edit my video because I kept doing like daily editing and just totally forgot about that because the first half of the week is like my busier days. I think I might want to like still continue on with Hunting Wives, but I'm not really sure how much of it I want to read just because it's an ebook. It could be like my in-between book. So Hunting Wives, I picked this up because of the show. I was watching that on Netflix. Liked it enough to want to like continue season 2. I'd seen this book around a lot. I think it was a book of the month book and I almost chose it, but already I can tell that it's kind of different from the show. So that's really interesting. I think I would have really hated the show if I read the book first. That's my hot take. week. Watch the adaptation first, y'all. So Sophie O'Neill has left behind her like big city Chicago life to settle down in Mapleton in Texas. But she meets Margot Banks, who is an alluring socialite. She's known from this like big rich family in this town, and she becomes part of their elite clique, and she gets swept up into this mysterious world. Slowly her like boring little life in Mapleton is becoming more, giving her this excitement that she didn't know that she wanted. She also has this like really weird infatuation with Margot, and it really comes through in the show at least. And then the body of a teenage girl. It's moving so slow, you wouldn't know there's an emergency. When the body of a teenage girl is discovered in the woods where the hunting wives usually go out, Sophie is thrown into the middle of this murder investigation, which is pretty much what the show is also about. I can see similarities between the show and the book so far, but I'm really like not far enough into it to have like conclusive thoughts. The ebook version that I have, I think is like 370 pages. I'm only on like page 63 or something. Otherwise, like I said, I do have these other books out, and hopefully the audiobooks come soon, because audiobooks are definitely going to help me read more. And I have another jam-packed like errand-filled day tomorrow, and I'm going out for dinner tomorrow, so I want to make sure that I'm getting in my pages. I ended up reading about 145 pages last night. The ebook just makes it so easy to read because I'm just tapping away, not realizing how much I'm getting done. I did read like the tiniest bit, but I am leaving. I did get a notification from Libby saying that the audiobook for Whispers of War is ready, so I think I will listen to that while I'm walking just to start it. I was gonna take another book with me, but I think that since I'll already be in the middle of two, and I want to work on this video since this is more of a weekly vlog and the other one isn't, that should have me set. This one was sent to me by Gallery Books as part of a Goodreads giveaway from 2020, and like I said, this is historical. It's the start of World War II. Three friends are struggled to remain loyal as one of them is threatened with internment by the British government. The three of them are childhood friends. Socialite Nora is determined to find her place at the Home Office's Air Raid Precautions Department. Hazel is a matchmaker who is keeping some secrets, and then there's Marie, who is a German expat, and she's worried that her and her family might face imprisonment in the internment camps if war is declared. And officially, when Germany invades Poland, there's a lot of tension, and Marie is labeled an enemy, and the three of them are fighting to keep her free. Typically, this is something so up my alley because I feel like when I first started getting into reading historical was something that I really enjoyed. So I hope that the audiobook for this is pretty good and that I can get a lot of reading done since I'm going to be balancing my time with two books. But I do have a commute, so I gotta get going. Today is going to be a very long day of socialization, so I'm not really sure how much reading I can get. We do have a lot of a commute because we have to do multiple transfers. The trains are really messed up this weekend. I do still have my ebook audiobook. I wish I was like starting a different book, but I don't know if the audiobook's like really working for me for this historical for Whispers of War, because I cannot tell the difference between the voices. The book's split up into three parts with the three characters, and so that's mostly how I can tell them apart. But otherwise about their life, like I don't know, their voice all sounds the same, so this narrator I feel is not doing a good job. There's also the present, like the current times, not during World War II, where we're following Samantha, who is I think Hazel or Marie's granddaughter, and she lives in America. So I guess we know that Marie ended up in America, just not what happened in between. I'm not really sure what I can say about it because I'm just like confused about what's going on. For Samantha, Marie has passed away and she is there to meet Nora for the first time, so it's nice that they like stayed in touch, and maybe there's a romance between Nora's grandson and her. At this point, Marie has now been kicked out of her home with her aunt and uncle. I feel like her cousin is giving Hitler sympathizer, and that's why he like kicked her out, because he's not a real family. She went to some communist meetings in the UK, and now she's gonna be staying with one of the friends. I don't remember who. Things are starting to escalate. She's getting scared. She doesn't know what to do. She was let go from her job because it didn't look good for optics because she's German. And her cousin at least is really angry already from the previous war, World War I, where Germans were looked down upon as the enemy as well, which is why he's giving like Oh, Too Much German Pride. I'm not really sure how far I'm into. I did listen to a lot of the audiobook during my like errands that I needed to do yesterday, and then I didn't read any of my ebook. So I'm not really sure what my page count is or whether or not this is like good, how much reading I'm getting done. I'm not sure what I'll get done today because after we go socialize and we go to our friend's kid's birthday party, we're going to our friend's place to help them pack because they're leaving New York. And I'm not really sure how long that's going to take either. So yesterday I feel like I didn't do as much packing help for my friends, but she texted me to say that like it was more help than I think that I did. So that was always like a nice text. But Coda and I are getting ready. He's heating up food and making me some coffee, and I thought I would just talk about the books because this is the last day for this vlog, and I feel like I haven't done a lot of check-ins in the latter half of the week. I'm literally like still getting ready for the day. I need to wash my face. Did you even see that? Don't look at it. Every time I start like 2 books and I'm in the middle of 2 books or multiple books, I tend to slow down in my reading because I just don't know what to prioritize. I didn't actually listen to this at all yesterday. This is my makeshift bookmark because I had to rush out of the house and wasn't sure like what page I was on. I'm reading a lot of The Hunting Wives. I actually haven't yet looked at how much I read, but I'm getting through it really quickly. I'm going to a reading event later with Reading Rhythms again, and my sister and I are meeting up with the same girl that we met the first time, so I'm glad that we're getting to connect with her again. Today's theme is going to be book to film adaptations because they're doing like a special promotion or something with Hamnet, which is coming out soon, with Paul Mescal, whom I love. They are giving out like free merch or something, so I thought I would save Hunting Wives for that because there is a TV adaptation, and unfortunately the books that I originally had for this I haven't like gotten to at all, or at least this is the only one, I guess. So I do have I think 1 book. Let's look at my TBR shelf to see what I have. This is the mess of a TBR shelf that I have. I guess I could technically start this, but it's so big and I have like other books that I want to read, so also goes for this one here, Game of Thrones. I'm leaning Lord of the Flies. I could go non-fiction with She Said, and I actually haven't seen this movie, although it has been on my list, but I think that's the only one. Oh, but this also, you know, issue of it being hella chunk. I think I have to start with Hunting Wives, obviously, and then just have Lord of the Flies like as a backup. In the Hunting Wives, this Kindle version with like the text size that I have is 374 pages. The Kindle version on Goodreads says that it has 360 something pages. My hair like needs to be washed. But right now I am on page 318, so I have like, you know, roughly 60 pages to read, which is actually great. I feel like 60 pages is a lot, but Reading Rhythms does give like roughly around 2 hours. No, the event is 2 hours, 2.5 hours, and then there should be like at least an hour of reading time, basically reading sprints with a bunch of people, and then they have time for you to talk with people as well. That's my lineup, and then I'm gonna eat, and then we can do a little calculation of how much I've read this week. Currently with where I am in The Hunting Wives, I'm actually really appreciating the differences in the show and the movie because it's really keeping me on my toes. There's enough that I'm like, okay, now I know where we're up to, but something really shocking happened that's really different from the show that I'm like, oh, is that gonna come up in season 2? Now, like I said, I'm gonna save my last 60 pages for reading at the event, and I guess for my commute I can take the actual physical copy of The Whispers of War, which I actually haven't picked up at all. I'm about to start chapter 14. Happy wrap up. I wish I was coming on to say that I read more than I did like in the prior vlog where I said that I was really happy that I read 3 books, because even though I was doing a video in which I was actively trying not to read more, or I guess I was just seeing how much I could read, and now 3 books is normal, but I read 3 books. I read Dark Corners by Megan Goldin, and I'm pretty sure I gave this like 3.75 stars, 4 stars. And then I read The Hunting Wives, which that one I definitely gave 4 stars. Really enjoyed that. I'm looking forward to season 2 of Hunting Wives even more now because I'm like, how different is it going to be from the book? And then I finished off with Whispers of War. I gave this like 2 stars. It just like wasn't really doing anything for me. I guess in terms of like women's friendship, it was really nice, but otherwise just like the story wasn't really grabbing me. I did listen to this a lot on audio. I did not finish it for like during the week that I was doing this vlog, but I just wanted to do the wrap up including it. I finished it on Monday after actually my sister and I went to go see Wicked for good. I feel like you don't really need to see it in theaters. You could just wait for it for streaming. Like, I definitely enjoyed part 1 a lot more. My total page count for the week was 965. I wish that it was over 1,000. But you know what? I'm still really happy with it. I'm read that many books. I'm now like 80 books into my Goodreads goal. I think they last told me I was 9 books behind now, which is progress because it was 11 before. It might be worse now because I've been reading less. The funny thing is that like I read less on the weekends. Like as the week goes on, yeah, I'm back to like 10 books. But it's fine. It's fine. I'm reading now. So I hope y'all enjoyed. I definitely did. I'm like pleasantly surprised with The Hunting Wives. Like really happy for me. I feel like I cracked the code of enjoying books that are made into like film, TV adaptations. I'm getting back on that audiobook grind. I hope you're all having a good week, a good holiday season, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!